Hey everyone, it's Jamie from Independent Street Tarot and Seasons and Ritual. It is January 18th, and I'm here to talk about Pluto moving into Aquarius on January 20th. Um, we say it's a once in a lifetime. It's a once in a lifetime shift, right? It did happen. Pluto went to Aquarius a little bit in March or May. I can't remember. Did move back in retrograded back into Capricorn. It's now moving into Aquarius. Um, on the 20th, and then in November it'll retrograde back into Capricorn, and then it'll go back into Aquarius, so it'll stay for 25 years. Pluto has an orbit of 248 years. Pluto is our furthest planet out. In astrology, we do work with dwarf planets and other things like that, but this is one of our planets that we consider in our solar system. So this is a big deal. Pluto has been in Capricorn for the past 15 years. All right, Pluto represents transformation. Pluto represents death. Pluto represents rebirth. Pluto rules Scorpio right now. Scorpio's ancient ruler was Mars. So Scorpio has two rulers, Mars and Pluto. Aquarius right now is ruled, okay, Scorpio is fixed water. Its modern ruler is Pluto. Pluto is moving into Aquarius. Aquarius's ancient ruler is Saturn. Saturn is right now in Pisces. Okay. Saturn now rules Capricorn. Okay. Capricorn is cardinal earth. It likes to work. It is a sign of work. Saturn wants stability. Saturn likes boundaries, right? Time. And so Saturn being in Pisces right now to me is helping end that, is helping end this age of Pisces that we are clearing out, right? Because Pisces in its lower vibration was a lot of illusion, a lot of Scorpio and its lower vibration was, secrets. And we're getting out of that. We are getting back into light and love and fresh air, right? Um, Aquarius's current ruler is Uranus. Uranus has been in Taurus, which is fixed Earth, since 2018 or so. Uranus will turn direct at the end of this month. Aquarius's ancient ruler, which is Saturn, like I said, is over there in Pisces. So we've got a lot of good energy, right? This is a one in a lifetime event, because Pluto won't get back to Aquarius until another 248 years, right? Once it decides to go. Also, Pluto, also because the sun will enter Aquarius and then Pluto will enter 12 hours later. So on the 19th, we're going to have another Cazimi, right? Then that's when the sun is conjunct a planet. And they will be at 59 degrees of Capricorn on the 19th/20th. And then the sun will move into Aquarius because that's when we enter new seasons, is when the sun moves into that season. And then Pluto will follow it 12 hours later. And that's really, really beautiful. The sun is our solar plexus. Our sun is our courage. Our sun is our fire. It's our I am presence. Fire signs, Leo, Aries, Sagittarius, right? And so the sun moving in there, and then, well, before the sun and Pluto have this intense conversation, right? When they're there. And I mean, they're just letting us know, like Pluto's letting us know, like it's putting its hand on our shoulder and it's like, it's time for transformation. It's time for change. There's no going back. And we as souls know that. We as souls understand that's why we're here. At the same time, this is real exciting and we talk about these things. It can be a lot of sadness. it would be like when you're graduating high school or something and you're real excited to go to your next chapter in life, you know, but you do get really sad because you felt really comfortable. You knew how to navigate this. And let me tell you, I had some really good times in this age of Pisces, and I had some really crap times in this age of Pisces. And I am looking forward to this new age of Aquarius. And I've been talking about it for 2 years now, right? Maybe longer. But at the same time, if you're feeling a lot of heaviness, that's perfectly normal. It is this feeling of we're not going back. You know, we're not. This is it. I remember at Christmas, I was leaving, or no, I wasn't getting ready to leave my mom's house. I was at my mom's house and just kind of doing some stuff. And she was sitting there watching TV and all that stuff. And I was sitting on the bed and I just got really sad. And I was like, I always ask myself, why am I so sad? And it was just like, this is never going to be the same again. And it wasn't like a fearful sad. It was just like a time of reckoning sad. Like I knew everything was changing from here on out, and it is. So if you guys are feeling sad, especially if you're a fixed sign, but even our cardinal signs, you've had Pluto in Capricorn for 15 years. So the other cardinal signs are feeling that release as Pluto moves into a fixed sign. The fixed signs are now feeling this, energy of Pluto, of transformation coming into these fixed signs. Taurus has had Uranus in there, churning it up now for years. Uranus rules Aquarius. It has been tearing up that fixed earth for years because it had to lay this new fresh earth for us to plant these new seeds in. It's been, I mean, you guys have lived it. It's been very turbulent, right? Especially since 2020. But a lot of us were feeling it come 2018, and now here we are in 2024, and we're getting ready for this huge paradigm shift. And it's happening, and the people have been saying, whether you're ready or not, like it's happening. It's happening whether you're ready or not. And I know if you're watching this, we're as ready as we will be, you know. And it's happening whether we're ready or not. If you can take a time to get quiet and meditate, or just get quiet, tap back into your breathing, this would be the time to do that. Because when the sun and Pluto are together, or when the sun is in a Cazimi or Cazimi or however you want to say it, when the sun is conjunct a planet, that is a very auspicious energy, which is the second time I've been able to use that word. And so it's important that we set some time aside for ourselves in the next, 48, 72 hours and really meditate on that. Okay. We want to ask Pluto to bring in this transformation at the correct speed for us, at the right way that we'll understand it. We want this transformation to come in so that we may speak on it so it helps others, right? We want to have this compassion. The underworld is where things come to get rebirthed, where things grow, right? Where the magic happens, Aquarius is an air sign. Aquarius is supposed to be logic. But I've always said, I believe Aquarius is the heart, because that is where we need to be making our decisions moving forward. We've logicked ourselves into too much logic, and that's why we get confused. We can't, quote unquote, trust what we see, we've got to go back to the feeling, go back into our heart. How do I feel about this, right? Aquarius is the water bearer, and she's got those wavy lines, right? So everyone always thinks Aquarius is a water sign, but she's an air sign. And she's going to be bringing in this age of energy. She is known as the star. She's the star card in the tarot, right? And stars, they vibrate, right? They bring in, they're just energy. And so we're going to be moving energy. We're switching energy. We're getting out of that energy of that age of Pisces, which was, 2,500 years. Astronomers will argue with me and say we're not astrologically hitting Aquarius for another 500 years, but it's here. It's here. When we hit that conjunction, in 2020, that was the sign to me that we were entering the stage of Aquarius. Because everything kept shifting, and now we're in a new pattern for eclipses. We just finished the Scorpio, Aries eclipses, so now we're going to be moving into new eclipse patterns. And again, you have the sun and Pluto at 0 degrees of Aquarius. Those 0 to 2 degree marks, when those enter, when planets retrograde or station direct or meet each other on those 0 to 2 degree marks, that is karma, the end of karma. It's a shifting point when it comes to karma as well. So it is really important for us to pay attention, to realize that things aren't going to be the same. I always say with Aquarius, we're going to be answering old questions with new answers. The way we think about things is going to be differently, but the way we feel about things is going to be very different. And so it's important to have courage. You know, when the sun goes in, it's when we move in, and then Pluto's moving right there. And the fact that Pluto and the sun are talking is telling me we've got to have courage to show up as ourselves, as individuals. Aquarius is the sign of the individual and then the collective. And so it's really important for us to start showing up with who we are. And we're going to feel more confident doing that. I mean, the sun and Pluto together, like that's a great way to start it, first and foremost. But I've known a lot of us have been doing the work, you know, I know a lot of us have been doing that, you know, we don't want to say the stay small syndrome and all that. So all that energy is going to be coming into this age of Aquarius. But again, a lot of you have been saying that you felt heavy. And again, it's because things are changing. It's that simple. Things are not going to be the same, you know, in a big way, in like every way. And that's good. And it's okay to feel bummed out or you want to cry right now. Because as we get closer, it's the 18th today to the 20th, we want to start talking to ourselves and asking ourselves, okay, where can we transmute? What am I literally not bringing forward into this next stage? You know, and Pluto and Aquarius is going to be there for 25 years. This is the last leg for a lot of people on the planet, you know. This is how they see themselves out, which is also really beautiful. And we feel that on a soul level. And it's time, you guys, to start recognizing when we're getting distracted. It's time for us to start realizing when we're not allowing our lives to move forward because we are distracting it with other things that's going on around us. This age of Aquarius is bringing in the idea and the feeling that we can change what's happening because we change ourselves. We show up, we help our neighbor, we understand compassion, we understand love, we understand forgiveness, which aren't themes that are, we do have to practice them every day. Some days are better than others. We know that too. But there's going to be so many new answers coming in on how to deal with these things. And a lot of times these answers we're going to find out were probably here for a long time. It's just that the powers that be wanted to squash them. You know, it's really coming to the forefront how much greed and how much greed there is on this planet. And that is the ending of Pluto in Capricorn, right? Because Capricorn rules money. Capricorn rules the sign of work. And so we're moving into the Aquarius, which is the sign of the people, right? And so you want to talk about wealth distribution, it's going to start being distributed differently. I can tell you that. So that's one theme. Another theme, if you just want to kind of go down this a little bit, space, right? Outer space. The satellites, I think, are going to be a big thing. We're going to start talking about those. The only prediction I have about that is I think Elon Musk will lose his mind and then, and not blow us up or anything like that, but people will start to say like, oh, wait a minute, this man's a little bit Fruit Loops and he has control all over these satellites, which makes him think he has control over the Earth. So that's the only thing. And so that's going to have to get re-regulated about satellites, because Aquarius is ruled by Uranus and Uranus is the cosmos, right? but also it's this idea that Uranus is the cosmos. So we get to ask questions and have new answers come in from the cosmos, right? It's really this opening. It is a breath of fresh air, you know, and it is this idea too that Aquarius's ancient ruler was Saturn. So we can feel those boundaries. We're okay with boundaries, you know, we're okay with this much, you know, and um Capricorn and Pisces, we weren't sure which was enough. What was enough? We didn't know. You know, we had to sell more, have a bigger company, get 50 million followers, you know. It was just more and more and more. And again, Saturn is in Pisces, helping clear that out, bring us back to Earth, if you will. Um, but because Saturn rules Aquarius, we're going to start thinking about what is more, how much can I handle? Do I need all this? Um, how do I feel working with this? You know, how can I help my neighbor, right? How can I help my community? Because, you know, and we saw it when Aquarius dipped into when Pluto dipped into Aquarius a few months back, unions, phew, they blew up. That is 100% Aquarius. Um, so look for just you guys, it's important just to see how your energy is changing, how you're thinking about things differently. Um, and then when this happens, see what starts to come in, you know. AI is a big thing. If you ask me, we could use AI to work on the border crisis, like everything's backlogged, we can't get things up to date. Well, I think AI would be a great um, way to handle that, to get everyone in the system. I don't want to hear about backlogs in the system anymore now that we got AI. Okay, stop trying to make AI write scripts. Why don't you just make it do what it's here to do, which is to help with paperwork, you know? Mm, I'm not saying it can't help write a script, but I'm also saying, why don't we just let it do what it's here to do to help us move along? So I want to touch back this about having courage about who we are. We're going to feel really good. We're going to start getting more comfortable about standing up and saying who we are, when in the past we might have felt a little uncomfortable or not sure because we were afraid it might offend somebody, or what if they think this about me, and people are going to get up and say these things in a good way. Okay, there's going to be a lot more logic coming in. Um, one way that would be is like the Roe versus Wade, like all the theology that's been tearing the United States. Okay, we're gonna go back to just like logic, like logically, it's killing people. So, like the mother, like we're gonna go back to Roe versus Wade, like we're gonna get women's healthcare rights back because it doesn't make any sense. Like you can't kill the mother if the egg's not viable or the fetus isn't viable. And I always find this really weird because they take that thing, they would take a huge syringe and go into the sac and pull it out and then test it to let you know if the baby was viable or not. And then we had to make choices. So it's so weird. Anyway, but we're going to go back to more logic. Things that are used to be spun and gaslit, the energy is not going to be there. And we're going to see that. When I've always thought when the sun is at the end degree of a sign, those were points of maturity and mastery. Pam Gregory, who is a wonderful astrologer, if you guys should watch her, she's great. She always says it kind of brings out the worst of that sign. And I thought, that's interesting. But right now, this power struggle, this patriarchal power struggle with all the wars going on, I can see what she means. Okay. And that's the other thing. It's important to know that there's going to be new solutions to all this shit that's happening. And every time, I don't know if I should say every time, but I feel like a lot of the time when there is a huge shift and the earth is about to like bring in a new energy, these horrible things ramp up. And it's important for us to take a time out from those so we can focus on ourselves in order to tap into this new beautiful energy. Okay. The way we change that horribleness is when we tap into this new energy that's coming here, that we can express, that we can hold on to, and then we can hold space with and then push back out. Okay. One way that old illusionary war energy keeps getting replayed, it's because we focus on it so much, right? And then we get drawn in and we feel awful, and then it just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And this isn't to say not to pay attention or not to be aware, but if we know our thoughts create a reality, we've really got to start shifting our thoughts to create a different reality. And we're here to be on this earth to experience our experience. And that's going to get better in this age of Aquarius because we're not going to be so mired like we were in that age of Pisces. It doesn't mean that those themes might not still be here. It's just that we're going to be able to see them better, talk about them better, and move through them quicker, right? We're not going to get so, I can't just say the word mired, like Pisces is a water sign, and at its lowest vibration, it is addiction, illusion, not being sure, narcissism, all those things. And its highest, though, was it was supposed to be here to teach us how to let go. Like, let it go, let it go, move forward, move forward. When one thing ends, another thing begins. And that happened today so quickly. I was up at the coffee shop talking to someone that used to work somewhere else, and they were telling me what happened. It wasn't a good experience. And I said, oh, well, you know what? The place next door is hiring. And they were like, what? And I was like, yeah, just go over there and talk to them. Interview tomorrow, right? And that's how the universe works. It doesn't like lack or holes or gaps. Once she decided to end it with that other job, a new opportunity came in just like that. And that's going to be happening a lot faster in this age of Aquarius because the planet's also getting hammered with all this new energy, this good energy coming in. So I'll be doing more, talks with astrology. Um, I haven't found my groove yet, you guys. And a lot of it was, you know, when spirit says you've got to wait, you got to wait. I know all 30 of you watching this are like, come on, Jane, but maybe we'll get up to 31. But it's this time where we really, really have to trust, like, especially if we've been doing the work and we work with our guides and we work with our ancestors, we have this relationship with them and we have to trust. We have to trust. That is, uh, we can't just keep pushing things to work the algorithm and things like that. We're moving out of that space for sure. So I'm gonna pick a card for Saturday for the first day of the age of Aquarius. Oh, and it is from it is from the Goddess of Love Tarot, which I've mentioned before. I just got it. And it is by Gabriela Herstick and the illustration by Julia Popescu. And Julia, you can find her on Instagram at Snakes for Hair. And she has a great Instagram. She also makes candles, and they are some of the best smelling candles I've ever had in my life. And she has them. Maybe I'll get the one for Aquarius for this year. Because they smell good. She's got a lunar one that I'm going to get. So the card for the Saturday, we have the Six of Cups. And then we have the Seven of Pentacles. And look who's at the top there, which is Saturn and its rings. And Saturn is in Pisces right now, but Saturn used to be Aquarius's ancient ruler. We have a beautiful cow for Taurus, because the Seven of Pentacles speaks of the seeds that we plant will come to fruition, which is so beautiful. And remember we talked about Saturn was like knowing our boundaries, knowing how big our farm needs to be, if you will, and all this beautiful soil. So that, and then the Six of Cups. And the Six of Cups is love. The Six of Cups in the Rider Waite, it has the two little kids, and they're just innocent, and they're just in love, and they're in awe of everything. Like, everything is just so pure and true and new, right? And that's that Six of Cups energy. So It is. This age of Aquarius really is about going back into the heart, which is so interesting because we would think it would be like being logical. And I often think about Pisces, which is a water sign, which should have been our feelings, but we got so logical with Pisces, like everything was science and why do I feel this way and how can I figure this out? And now we're moving into this age of Aquarius, and it really is going into this love vibration, remembering the innocence of ourselves and others, and remembering that that energy can take us to where we want to go and how we want to be. And it is important to plant those seeds because the time is now, you guys. The time is now. So those are two beautiful cards for Saturday. Okay, if you guys have any questions, you know the drill. Feel free to comment below. You can get in touch with me on my Instagram or email me at independentstreetnola@gmail.com or visit me on my website. I haven't been keeping up with things on my website either. Before I would just stress out and be like, I'm garbage, but you know what? I'm not. So I'll get back into a new routine and we'll figure something out. And then hopefully I can get back on here and start talking to you guys more regularly as well. Okay, so enjoy the last few days of Capricorn season. Looking forward to this age of Aquarius. Take some time to yourself. It's okay to feel a little heavy. And it's okay to be excited. But just know things are changing. It is a paradigm shift. So till next time.